Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. It's Champions. We're on episode number 43, and it's time for one of my favorite races of every single year. It's the Champions national race. It's Uganda, and you can see we're going to try to see if we can just burst past both of these guys and then outrace them. Now, Black Panther's strength happens to be in the fact that he's a great time trialist, and that does not necessarily help us because, well, it's not a time trial today, it's a road race. His flat rating's only a 73 as a base, but he does have some pretty solid resistance now, and you can see we've already immediately used Kagamu's attack as an opportunity to try to pull away. And now Ali and Kagamu are both riding solo, trying to chase down Black Panther, who's got that significantly better flat rating, even though he's not actually, all that quick. They're just that much slower. And just like that, we've opened a gap. It's now at 19 seconds. They are both still riding solo, which is absolutely demolishing their chances of keeping up with us, but we cannot maintain this forever as we've gone through a lot of energy. But if we can blow them up in their attempted chase, which now they're together, so we'll see if we can hold them off. That's 28 seconds to the good, 29 seconds to the good. We're gonna have to start to back off some. Obviously we have a gap. We've got to try to maintain this for a while. You can see the red bar part is recovering slightly, and the gap is definitely holding, but the energy that we have is not doing so hot, so we've got to just slow it down. 37 seconds, 40 seconds though. I think we might have successfully got them to blow up. Now we've got to try to get the heart rate down low enough to begin recovery because we are right on the edge. Minute 6, so yes, we've established control of the race. Now can we start to recover? Minute 17 and holding. Heart rate at 148, 147. Come on, just a little bit lower and you can get this thing in check. There you go, 140. And the gap's a minute 34, so we are starting to ride away from them. There we go. Heart rate's where it needs to be. We've got a little bit of yellow bar now, and we've somehow opened up nearly a 2-minute gap, so I think this is well and truly in control. Yep, they're not gaining on us, and we are recovering. Let's go ahead and get water for the first time. Oh, and they've split off from each other. Kagamu attacked, so they are now squabbling over second place in the early stage of this. Whoa, whoa. Hello, Kagamu. Mr. I went on an attack. He recovered his energy much faster, and he went hardcore on the attack. He's only 18 seconds down now. This thing's not over yet. And once he gets up here, there's no way that he's going to contribute. He's going to just sit on, and he's made it. Minute 43, and you can see he is not contributing at all. If we even set relay here, it's allowing Ali to claw back some time as well, which is not helpful. If I can get him to work with me, which he won't, because I'm much the favorite, and that's kind of the problem. That's why you can't just sit around and wait for these guys. So we need to get that heart rate down so we can recover and just leave Ali behind. Kagamu's going to have to do the same thing that he did with Ali and try to just ditch us, which is the best thing, because right now he's recovering much faster than I am sitting on my wheel. So he's going to be at full strength. There's no way that I can leave him in the dust right now. We've got to try to make sure that Ali does not catch up to us and then somehow recover. And that's a real issue right now because we're not really recovering. And I can't maintain. That just allows Ali right back in. Yeah, wow. Look at that. I lost a minute in 200 meters. Okay, game. Okay. Maybe I need to let him come back. There you go. Kagamu on the attack.
He broke from the pack like a greyhound.
Okay, just up the effort. And then we'll have to grab water now. And then attack. We've got to try to leave them behind. Okay, that's a gap.
There's a rider trying to break away from the bunch.
And we'll push a little bit harder, see if he can, if we can burn him out trying to keep up with us. Nope, that did not work. And just riding's not gonna ditch him. We've got an actual challenge today. Last time that worked. We were able to ride him off the wheel. He attacked, and then we just attacked him right back and left him in the dust, and we stayed away. But this time, he was able to close that down once we rode away because he used Ali. So he was able to recover and ride at a pace that we couldn't quite maintain solo. Stronger together when you team up. And that's the thing, is Black Panther is strong enough that these two will never contribute. And so I'm kind of stuck with trying to, let's see, there you go, trying to ride him off the wheel, but that's not happening because he has energy. You can see that. I think we might have to just bring it all back together and recover and go solo and then try. So we're going to have to allow Ali back in. We need to recover massively. We're just going to sit on. There you go. Ali is exhausted. But if we recover quickly before he gets a chance to recover and nobody's contributing for a little bit, we can reset. Start again. 64K. I could probably recover faster than Ali can. Right? His shoulders just stopped bobbing a moment ago. And you can see we're already back at half.
So this is the last third
and
of the race.
Kagabu's probably burnt a fair amount of his energy. I think he's only at 56 resistance, so he can't keep up what he's doing. So if I can get back to full strength here and just cruise for a little bit longer. For one thing, I'd love to see one of them attack because that's the easy way to go. It's a lot easier when they're split and not working together. So I'd love to see him try to attack again because then we can respond. And now we're at that point where we are ready for that. 56K to go. Cat and mouse tactics started early on this one. $52K to go. Let's get water one last time while we're here. I'm at full strength and Ali is probably not, so it's time to make a move.
A rider just launched an attack.
Okay, there's our attack. We open up a 26-second gap. Ooh, and they're both back. But they're expending a lot of energy to try to recover, so, and I'm gonna recover way faster than they are, so we can actually, I think we can successfully do this tactic, which was kind of what we did the first year, and go for that, and we'll blow them up long before we will blow up. Because their pursuit is not happening united. Their pursuit is very much each one of them making a deliberate effort to try to get back. So if we don't give them the time they need to recover and hit them again, we might be able to then deal with them being exhausted and just right away. And our energy is going to last a lot longer than theirs. 35K. Again, it's back together, but look at Kagmu out of the saddle like that. And I'm already almost recovered. Guaranteed that they are not at that extent.
A courageous rider is looking to break away.
21 seconds. It's 30 kilometers, so at some point we need to just get away from these guys. 22 seconds. This time the gap's holding. But they are together, which means they might actually be working. We're out to 40 seconds. 43 seconds. Got to back off some because we need to last for the next 22 kilometers. Minute 10.
We'll see if he has the necessary resources to hold out.
Minute
It'll
26.
be tough because he's all alone.
And it's still 20 kilometers to go. The heart rate's got to come down a little bit more to maintain tempo. 2-minute gap, though, is starting to look pretty good. 144 on the heart rate is going to just about hold things, meaning we can maintain this pace. We don't need to recover. We just need to keep pace. Yep, there you go. We did it. 3.5 minutes. They are not working together. Now they're attacking each other. And it's smooth sailing for the next 8 kilometers to the finish. 4-minute gap. Push just a hair harder. Even gel up. And we head for victory. Last time, there's the finish line.
Splendid solo win and a
They made it a little tougher this year. But in the end, we were plenty strong enough. And you can see just how gassed they were at the end of that thing. And that was how and why that worked. We hit them, 3 times? And still had half our energy left. I think those 3 times had them down to nothing. So that when we went away, that gap held for just a little bit. And then it just went out really fast. So I still had energy. They didn't. And that was where a minute gap quickly turned into nearly 5. National Championship time trial of Norway. Thor, the competitor for this one. It's a 2-lap circuit, so we do a lot of overlapping. You can see we're passing a rider here who's not even technically next to us, is there on their 2nd lap already. We'll be coming around there. But it begins and ends differently, and it ends not just with a short intro onto the circuit, but with a pretty decent climb afterward. So we do have a bit of work to do there. So far, so good. Thor, good time trialist, to 78 today and 81. So that's going to help. This is full time trial length, so no prologue rating. And then, of course, the climb at the end. Thor, decent on a climb, a 76 today. The resistance, a 77 today. Thor should be able to put in a pretty competitive time. There are a few good Norwegian time trialists, though, so we'll see how we actually compare against them. Right now, Leknesund with the top time at 52:06. We are wearing the number 1 jersey, so I'm assuming we are the last ones on the road. We do have a little spare energy right now, but we need that for the final climb. So I think a 75 is just fine on tempo. We can absolutely attack that final climb if necessary and make up significant chunks. But that begins lap number 2, so there's our first time check, and we are 3rd, 15 seconds down. Tobias Foss is the leader right now. Leknesund, we are 20 seconds ahead of him, so we've got to watch out for Werenskold and Foss. And let's see, there you go, they're just now coming towards the line. So these are the other top favorites. Werenskold just went top ahead of Leknesund at the 2nd check. He's 35 seconds ahead, so we're closing in on that here pretty soon. And there goes Foss well to the top. He's a minute clear of Leknesund. 2nd check, still 3rd, 26 seconds down. You can see we're now just 3 seconds behind Werenskold. But we are well behind Foss. That's a half minute to try to make up on the finish line. Now, Leknesund has that huge advantage, but it looks like he might be slipping to about 3rd or 4th place, maybe even off the podium entirely if we have anything to do with that. 2K to go. You can see now that spare energy might not even actually be enough to get us there. We're having to back off here to try to finish this thing off. 1K to go. Got to try to conserve that energy. We have not blown up yet, but we're coming up. And now we've blown up. We have blown up. So we are going to lose some time here. And that's 2nd place. 2nd place. If we had the energy to the end, we might have been able to finish that thing off. But we do get 2nd, so we comfortably beat Werenskold in the end. Leknesund does slip off the podium to 4th place. Foss, the favorite, does take the win. We grab 2nd overall. He was the favorite to begin with, so no surprise there. He's a much better climber than we are. And then dropping dropping the time in the last, 700 meters, 600 meters.
Riders.
U.S. National Championships, and we've got to be the favorites here. So, like some years, I think it's time to try to take control. We're going to use Spider-Man and Captain America probably straight off, and then, sure, Doctor Strange as well. 3 riders to lead things out. We're going to save Iron Man for later. Use the lead out train. I think a 70 will make it hard on a breakaway. They should be able to get a little time off the front, but they're not going to gain much control. Definitely looking at a sprint finish, but obviously there is some undulation to this course. Cyclops is now an 81 sprint, and with those +2s today. Well, +4 overall in that race day condition. The flat rating, the resistance is off the charts. I have one more come up. Star-Lord. No, Star-Lord's fine. Ant-Man.
And he sprints away in attack.
Getting so many riders wanting to contribute. Nebula. Great flat rating. Let's go ahead and save you for later. Is that everybody up here now? It is. Okay, so Cyclops is who we want to ride for. And Nebula is going to be a strong lead out rider. But you can protect Cyclops. Okay, Iron Man is a good lead out rider. But we need, who's our other sprinter going to be?
The pace is really hot, so for the moment we shouldn't see too many attacks.
Maybe Spider-Man. So go ahead and back off Spider-Man. Get out of that mess. And Iron Man can protect you. So Spider-Man's going to be the lead out rider of Cyclops for the finish. Got a couple strong flat ratings in the build up to that. 5 riders just a minute away. That means more riders are trying to get involved, but we've got control of this peloton. It's okay. See, it's hard for them to get away because of the tempo we're setting. It's hard for those 2 riders who got dropped off the back because of a fall. It's going to be hard for them to get back on because of the tempo we're setting, and with 4 riders and 153k, they should be able to maintain this for quite a while, this type of tempo. Now, not allowing that breakaway to get 2 minutes is the reason why we're getting continued attacks, but if there's more riders that are just blowing themselves up to try to be part of that, I'm all for that. That means they're going to be weaker. And meanwhile, we're kind of just casually keeping it in check. Doctor Strange, the only one who's looking like he's going to be having a rough day. He won't last throughout this thing. 129k, we're going to need to get water soon. I will send Doctor Strange back to do that. No reason to sacrifice our 4 protected riders. Well, 2 protected riders and the 2 protecting them. Though their task is a little easier right now. Maybe I should use one of them after all. Alright, 120k, so we're in our window. Let's get that water. Those 2 riders have never gotten back on. Gap's open by another minute, so they're 3 minutes behind. Iron Man's struggling to get the water. Gotta come all the way to the front here. There you go. Alright, 4 riders, 1 minute. So again, that's holding steady. They're able to stay away. It's not like we're pushing that hard. They should have been able to open 2 minutes. But apparently, 4 versus 4 at a 70 is too much for 4 to handle. All you have to do is ride at a 73, and you open the gap. Slowly but surely. It is to a minute 24, but they've really had to have used a lot of energy to slowly open that up because they've been riding 90k just a hair faster than us. You can see it's right back down to a minute. Oof, allergy season. 80K to go. Chase riders. Keeping them at a 70. Shouldn't be that hard. Okay, Doctor Strange really the only one feeling it, so we're just still doing fine on that. The breakaway is done. We're just now maintaining pace, so they couldn't hang on. Oh, I don't mind keeping this tempo. $67K. We'll get water again soon. Next one attacking. It's taking them too much energy to keep up. I think a lot of riders are a bit fatigued. And then it's causing them to, go out the back or struggle to hang on to the back. So I think slowly we're going to see this peloton shrink as we go through the next 30K or so. I think we'll still have probably a good 70 or 80. But those that are attacking, like McNulty here, they're burning all sorts of energy to go clear by small margins. Now we are done with water. 2 riders, 30 seconds is not going to harm us. 40K to go. As predicted, we haven't dropped any riders off yet, so this 70 really isn't punishing, but watch what happens when we start to speed up just a little bit.
Riders are going to be very sore at the end of the day. That's the end of the breakaway.
Let's see, we brought those 2 back. Now we're pushing a little bit harder. It's going to be that much more difficult, and we see a split almost instantly with the new tempo. That group had enough energy to recover and get back on, but we are making life difficult on the field at this point in time. Jorgensen and Scott going clear. EF now contributing. He could have been forgiven if he forgot that they would be here. We haven't seen him once since the start of the race. We are down to 99 riders, so yes, we are slowly doing what was predicted, but not to the extent that it was predicted, but it's clearly having an effect now. Doctor Strange is not going to last a whole lot longer here. 22K to go. And we see a split. 11 riders off the front. That's our 5. There's 5 of them. Doctor Strange is the one who's still here to try to bring that back. And I don't know if we necessarily need to. What is in that front group? 3 somewhat tired riders. Vessi, that's the sprinter. So no, we don't want to leave that because he'll take it. And they've got their lead out rider in Wool and another one in Young. So you 3 just sit on for now.
We are just 20 kilometers from the finish, so things
Okay,
should
20K to go, and it's just 44 riders in the group. I think it's a little early, but now's a good time to set up the sprint train and just kind of get on with it. So we wanted Cyclops. I should have looked at my other, let's see, was it Spider-Man? Yes. And then we want, I think, Nebula. Yeah, 80 flat. Oh, Iron Man's got an incredible flat rating, though. We'll put Iron Man in between there. Alright, now this is going to be more off of who's got the energy to keep going. Alright, let's make it where nobody's coming back. I like being down to 44 riders. Now EF's going to be the big challenge. And I think we could be winning that comfortably. It's down to 28 at the moment, so EF and us, it's pretty much a 2-team race now for the finish.
I see a rider with a flat tire. It's happened at a very bad time.
Doctor Strange done, but that's from a long day's work. And now we're keeping it to where nobody's going to come back. 15K to go.
15 kilometers left.
Keeping that pressure on. Like it when a plan comes together. We actually did hurt the field and split the field and give us a small group for the finish. And meanwhile, our sprinters are doing just fine, and you got to expect a lot of the 28 are going to be quite tired.
The pace seems much
Hard
too high
ride
for
just
many
does not
riders.
leave much in the legs for others. Ant-Man out of red bar, but has some yellow. We're at 10K. We're down to 25 now as well.
Left.
Ant-Man onto the back of the group.
The sprinters are positioning themselves up front. It'll probably be a
8K to
mass
go.
sprint finish.
Time to push now. With the undulation, there's enough time to keep the heart rate from going crazy. Final gels. 5K to go. Down to 21 riders. Still some undulation between now and the finish. Star-Lord's done. On to Captain America. 4K to go. The last little uphill is the push to the line. Sprint it out from here. Got to keep us ahead of EF. Down to 14 riders. 1.6K to go. There's that last uphill push. Nebula pushing right through it and setting us up for the sprint. Here comes their sprinters. There's Vesey. And one other challenge. Oh, I've gone too late, have I? Have I gone too late? No, I've not gone too late, but Spider-Man's going to take the win, not Cyclops.
Like
a 1-2. Quinn Simmons came roaring through there. Vesey only 5th place. Iron Man 6th. Nebula was 4th, so we grab 4 of the top 6 positions, and then that small group went clear, and then 7 riders in tow. So we do get a 1-2 finish. Cyclops, I almost left that too late. I didn't know how much of the uphill was there. I didn't look too closely at the profile. Yeah, you can see it just about finishes out, flattens out to the finish. We'd already gone over the hump, and I was saving my sprint for late. Almost too late, but we get the job done. It's the Russian Road Championship, and unfortunately Black Widow has a terrible -4 race day condition. Though she was expected to have a 0. She was up for the race, and the weather was bad, which was neutraling out, but really poor draw. Only 30 riders here. She is not the favorite, so fortunately we're not going to be the ones to do the chase. She is one of the favorites, though, so we'll see what kind of result we can grab in this one. We're already within 60K, so let's go ahead and get water for our one and only time now, especially while the group is intact. No proper breakaways forming in this one. Nobody's been allowed to get that far off the front. It's constantly being chased, though we are up to 4 riders with a bit of a gap, and I think it's opening.
There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
If we don't get in this, I think that's going to be your top 7. Now we get in it, and suddenly those 22 want to chase, but without it, there's no way that group would have easily gone off and taken the race. So let's see if we can bridge that gap. We got the 23 here. Just bring it back. Okay, we're down to 2 riders now. Let others pick up the chase. There we go, and they are.
There's a few riders jockeying for position at the front. So this is the last
35K to go.
Anyone who is gunning for victory has got to make a move.
Now there's a proper chase involved, so they might have a minute, but it's only 2 riders. 7 riders with the kind of gap that was suddenly opening. Would have been a no-go. Pretty sure we did the right thing on that one. 3 more times through this uphill, downhill, and then end of loop section here. Big push. Now Black Widow should have an easy time with the climbing, but with this ugly race day condition, you can see we are struggling pretty mightily. Quite a few riders are already beginning to get dropped. Excuse me. 20K to go. It's allergy season, and it's so bad. In fact, the edge of the valley that I'm a part of is the 2nd worst for allergies in the entire world. I believe number 1, I want to say, is Islamabad, and then right here, the Portland down to Eugene, Willamette Valley area. 9K to go. 2 riders too far in front, and the chase just does not have the impetus that it needs. We are not going to be riding for the victory. It looks like we're going to be riding for 3rd place, because there they go. And there just isn't enough push. There's an attack. This hill coming up would be a good time for us to attack. You can see this is clearly not coming down to a sprint. And we have gone clear to 3rd place coming up on the finish. And oh, there the group just comes back at us on right on the line. Vlasov grabbed 2nd place, but it was that breakaway rider who went clear. It looked pretty clear there for just a moment that we might be grabbing 2nd, and then all of a sudden chase group just organized enough, just enough left that they were able to make the push. But again, if I don't do that attack, they don't respond, and then we're not even riding for 2nd, we're riding for 3rd, 4th, or 5th, and there was others attacking. Right? So often in those national races, if you don't have some sort of response, there isn't a response, and then those riders just go clear. They'll take 15, 20, 30 minutes in just a handful of kilometers. So your hands are kind of tied. It's really hard when you're riding solo, unless you're nowhere near the favorites. Alright, so we've got a really interesting one here. This is the Dutch National Championship road race. Groot is among the favorites, but only slightly. Van der Poel is the heavy favorite for this one because it's a cobbled classic. This is the first national championship that I've seen on a cobbled circuit. So really excited for what's to come on this one. Groot's up there though. Groot's our highest rated rider on the squad as a sprinter. 84, 82, clearly locked in the 85 department, and has a really good cobble rating with a +3 today. Good flat rating, good resistance, good stamina. This could be good. It's going to depend on how much effort other teams are willing to put in, like DSM, Jumbo-Visma. If they put in a big effort and contribute, if I'm not forced to do the chasing, we could be in for a fight for the win today. You can see it's a very short cobble, but it's uphill, and it's a short enough lap that we hit it over and over again that it absolutely could do some serious damage. So let's speed this up for a little while. Right now, the breakaway, they are not happy. They're not content. They're having trouble getting away. So I could see this circuit, that little punchy cobble, I could see it splitting the field again and again as we go through the laps. So we absolutely could have a situation where groups split off repeatedly, and that could absolutely change the complexity of this race. It's early still, 170K to go, and there's a split already. 30 riders at the front. Back together, and it's early days, so you'd suspect it'll come back together, mostly. It looks like one rider off the back is going to end up getting dropped here permanently, and wow, see, now I'm in a breakaway group of 24. There's another split. Back together for now, but as this goes on, it's going to be harder and harder for that chase, and we're setting a fairly blistering pace so far, so these splits could be happening a lot sooner. We could end up with very small groups a la a major classic. 2.5 minutes to the 2 riders off the front, so that gap's opened up. We sat up a little bit. Those riders that are off the back, one of them has gotten back on, but you can see they're on the edge. They lost contact momentarily again. Pace isn't too bad right now. It's definitely lifted. So cruise mode for the next little while. So let's speed it up. 3-minute gap at the front. The 2 riders that are away, Backer and Bowman's, not major threats, but certainly not weak riders. So those 2 can turn a decent tempo at the front. allowed it to get out to 3 minutes. We're also in our window for water. Go ahead and get that now. I hate dropping to the back of this group, though. It's a fairly big group to be dropping back on. And the way the splits can happen so fast. The next time we get water is definitely not something I want to do at ×8 speed. I have to be very carefully calculated. Under 100K now. Gap's coming down closer to 2 minutes from the 3 minutes it was at, so we've definitely lifted tempo. But you can see heart rate wise, Groot's hanging in there just fine. This isn't too bad. Another temporary split. Again, we're going to see those again and again, but as we get into the final 60K or so, I think those splits will start to happen and then not recover. Those groups will split off and split off and split off, and that'll be it. Another split. Back together again for now. Chase isn't that hard yet. Pace isn't that high yet. Therefore, groups can make up the ground. Okay. Pace is lifting. It's coming up. We're getting into that stage where things are definitely going a little faster, which is why I said when we get water this time, gotta be careful that we don't get caught behind in one of those back groups to get that water. It is close enough on the window to get water. I'm going to wait until the climb to do it because I don't want to get caught out. And we have split again, 59. Okay, here we go, here we go, and
the breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has
that water, got the water, did not even drop that far back, that's good. Another split. 2 riders off the front are down to 1:20, by the way. And for the moment, it's back together. The numbers are decreasing, though. Okay, definitely time to up the effort. 40 riders. 44K. Back together a bit, but it's minus some of the riders. We're at 76. I'm thinking this is now going to be it. Oh, 2 riders escaped. No. That was a scary moment. I didn't see an attack, but it looks like 2 of the lead-out riders momentarily opened a gap. 41. And the gap's getting a little wider, but it's still close. 50 seconds. That's to the front of our group, not to the back.
The vibrations really take it out of you.
2 groups left in contention, and the back group is splintering. So now we're at 35 in the front group, 12 and 13 chasing. The 12 might still have a chance of getting on, but it's getting more and more difficult. If they don't get on after this hill, I don't think we're going to see them again.
Those left behind goes on rising.
Ooh, they almost made contact there. Those 13 maybe still have a chance, but we're at 35. And that gap is opening. The 2 off the front are down to 20 seconds. There they are. We nearly brought them in.
That's why some specialists don't hesitate to
and they are brought in.
Several times, because each section has its particularities, and on some sections it is
20K to go.
If you don't adopt the right strategy.
And we're starting to see attempted attacks. Now Groot's specialty is to sprint. So this is not allowing Vanderpool to get clear. And that's Ekoff and Demulan. Trying to go clear.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
Van Veenendaal. Tunison's a little bit of a threat in that group, but these are your classics riders making a move. Jakobsen. Let's try to go clear. I have a feeling that those 4 riders are going to make a winning move if this one's not responded to. And we absolutely have the pace to respond, but we are not that technical. And you can see that all these lefts and rights are making it really difficult for us. But let's bring this back together.
Close. The riders just passed the 10 kilometers road sign.
I'm not letting Dumoulin get away. No chance. 7 at the front, 40 seconds.
While the pack is getting close to the
8K to go.
seems to agree that the stage will be
Next
won
attack
in a sprint.
already coming. It's Tunison again. And we're starting to lap riders. Down to 6 now, and this has got to be the winning move. 6.8K. Group not cooperating though. Ekoff and Barl, another attack. It's back together, all 7. Now it's 8. Not sure who just bridged the gap. The whole group just about there. 5K to go. We can win a sprint. We can absolutely win a sprint. 3.5K to go. We're the favorite in the sprint, so they're making us do the work. 5 in the front now. 2.5K to go. We have enough energy to attack still, but it's going to have to be late. It's enough of a gap. 1K.
There we go. The sprint is on. The riders are setting themselves
It's
up.
technical, so we can definitely attack a little bit earlier out. Here we go. Oh, we got it. We've got it. Cross line, first place. Dutch national champion. Jakobsen grabs second. Tunison, there's your 3 sprinters, but we easily beat them off. And Ekoff. Van Barl. Vanderpool just 6th place. He missed that move. We caught the move. We got in the move. And it was strong enough. There's enough undulation, enough technical corners that it just worked. It stuck. And oh, I'm so glad we read that, because you've got Casebull, you've got Yetzibull, you've got Arnsman, you've got so many capable. I mean, look at that top 14. That's a who's who of Dutch cycling right there. And there's Koish. Well, Poles. I mean, just fantastic riders throughout that top 20. So great ride there by group. We worked it and worked it well. Good result. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.